The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinski as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversations going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar ALCS Game 5 Pregamers brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420SEAT at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to BellyUpSports.com for all their great articles and other great podcasts. It's the Corner Booth Podcast and my guys over there at Craft Brewed Sports every Tuesday night. Today, I am joined by a great follow on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it these days. Ryan, the captain at the Captain to Corner. Fantastic follow. Big Yankees fan. Us Yankees fans sometimes, especially this time of year, we got to stick together. Going gets tough. The tough get going. Ryan, how you doing today? And how's the pulse from that scary game last night, to say the least?
It's finally coming down. I said earlier, going to bed, I was up for a while, but I slept like a baby last night. We got that 3-1 lead, and wow, just what a game. I mean, the last two games incredible, but thankfully we were on the right side last night. But
it's crazy to me how these games have turned out, because this Fonte, all we heard about going into this series was how great the Cleveland and this Class A, he was great all season long. Like, I'm not going to besmirch the guy, but how great he's been. And he's been the detriment of the Cleveland Guardians a little bit.
big time. It's crazy. And they were talking up the defense too. And I know a couple of games, the Guardians just had very costly errors. And then, like you said, last night Class A just comes in and we were just smoking the ball off of them.
It's crazy how that all turns out. Ryan, let's forget about this series for a little bit. Tell us how your Yankee fandom, how deep it goes, how long you've been, and how it all started.
Well, I've been a Yankee fan my entire life since I came out the womb. Used to live in Long Island, so that's kind of where the New York roots came from. But yeah, I mean, ever since I can remember, I've been a Yankee fan. 2009 was incredible. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was 9 years old watching in my living room. And fast forward, here we are, 2024, and I feel like we could do it again.
I think they got a real good shot at that 2009 team. Like, this team's kind of comparable to that team a little bit. You can compare CC with Garrett Cole, and then you have the Rodon is kind of the AJ Burnett. Then you have obviously Judge, what he's doing, and then Stanton's been unbelievable. This team is very comparable. Do they have some flaws, but let's talk about the positive. Like, what do you like about this Yankees team? And so far in these playoffs, they've been scary. Don't get me wrong. There is some flaws, like I said, but what do you like about this Yankee team?
Well, like you said, Giancarlo Stanton, I'm wearing his jersey right now. I mean, talk about someone who comes through when he needs to. He has been just incredible this postseason. So he's been our guy. But I mean, the bullpen up until the last couple games has been incredible. They've locked it down. I think the biggest thing this postseason is just we've been getting on base. I feel like you turn the game on in that first inning, we're threatening. Even if we don't get a run across or we only get one or two, I mean, we're always having runners on base. There's just certain guys. Volpe, I think, has turned it on. Big G, of course. Verdugo, I don't think we've been talking about him enough. He's been playing lights out, and his defense is really crucial. But I think guys are just like playing up to their abilities right now, and that's all you can ask for in the postseason. It's guys just doing their best and getting hot when we need to.
One guy that's man, I was swearing him up and down a little bit last night in the eighth inning. When I mean, it was a tough play. That little flip behind Leiter's back, it was going to be a tough play. Rizzo, I crumbled when that play happened. I was on the floor of my living room, like, oh, what the hell is going on here? Because it was it was a 6-2, and then it should be over, and then you could breathe easy, and then, holy Christ, and then Rizzo got a hit in the ninth, and then he got taken out, and they ended up scoring a run to win the ball game. But Rizzo's playing hurt. There's no getting around that. Like, he's not 100%, but having a guy in your lineup who's won with the Cubs in 2016, that's invaluable for this Yankees club.
100%. Yeah, and it's crazy because with the broken fingers that he's playing with, I would have expected maybe the bat not to be there, but to his defense to still be stellar. And it kind of seems like that's flip-flopped. He's had some big hits, but the defense has kind of been shaky for Rizzo. Our loss the other night, it seemed like there was a ball down the line he didn't even kind of go for. a couple miscues, but like you said, it is crucial to have a guy who's been in the postseason before. He's won a World Series before. Just like having a veteran like Giancarlo Stanton, having those guys that have been doing it and have been in that scenario before, it's 100. It's big.
This team is it's just a hit and miss because, like you said earlier on, they were getting guys on early. Even in the Kansas City series, they had guys on, and then Judge just didn't come through at like the first two games, I think it was, and then early in this series, I mean, it's still early in this series. I guess it's Game 5 tonight, but so it's not that early, but it could be done tonight. But it's crazy, like they just weren't getting guys on base and weren't getting guys on base. And I had Brian McKeon on yesterday from the Locked On Yankees podcast, and he said, well, eventually it's got to break through. And then last night, Soto, and Torres has been unbelievable. I mean, Glaber's been unreal in this playoffs. He might be playing for his Yankee life. I don't know if he's getting the money he wants, but he's been really good. And he got on base again last night. And then Soto came through, and then the 2-0 lead. And then as a Yankee fan, you can go, okay, we got this. Nope. No, that's not the way it turned out.
No, 100%. Yeah, I should have mentioned his name. Gleyber Torres has been everything we could have asked for. He's just line drives up the middle all day. And yeah, I mean, last night, another roller coaster. We go up 2-0, you're breathing a little bit. We have a 3-1 lead, you're breathing. Now we're up 6-2, and you're like, I can sit back, watch, enjoy the game.
Crack a beer, and hey, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're watching, having a good time, and then before you know it, just madness.
It is madness, and that's playoff baseball. Like that's the thing. You chew your fingernails down to your first knuckle on it when it's playoff baseball. That's what I love about it. Like the games, you run the full gamut of emotions throughout the years. They kind of had not an easy ride of it, but there wasn't really any doubt for most of the season that the Yankees are going to get to this point. If they don't at least get to the World Series, especially, and it's not their fault. You can only play who's in front of you with Kansas City, and then now with Cleveland. You can only that's not their fault that Baltimore stunk and the Astros didn't get by. But if now with the way the playoffs were set up once they started that ALDS. Were you thinking out there in Yankee land a little bit, like if they don't do it this year, like at least get to the World Series, you thinking, when are we going to do this?
Unfortunately, you do think that a little bit. I mean, there are a lot of question marks heading into the offseason, regardless of what happens. I mean, the big Juan Soto question, are we going to have him next year? Where is he going? But like you said, the path, and it does seem not to throw a chirp out there, but the Astros Oriole fans, they seem to be the ones saying that we have an easy path. It's like, hold on, where are you guys?
Yeah, you haven't played in a month.
Exactly. Yeah, you were supposed to be our path, but you're not here. But it really does feel like it's this year or not never, but this year. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, the path, the guys that we have right now, just everything feels like it should be the year at least to get there. Who knows what happens, but just get there and let's see what we can do.
I don't know how much I and I hate being that Yankee fan. I mean, they got it going on and everything's coming up roses. They're finding ways to win. But every Yankee fan, you're probably the same way. You find a way to turn the smelling like roses into smelling like dog shit a little bit sometimes. You're like, oh, it has to go like it's how Yankee fans are. But I don't know how much I like Carlos Rodon to put two good starts together in a row. I just don't have. I don't know what the reasoning is. I don't have any statistical facts. It's just the eye test and the smell test for me. Like, what's your take on Rodon?
I mean, he is a tricky one.
There you go. Okay, you're with me then a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I love the amount of strikeouts he gets, and that's exciting. But man, he's a guy that can go out there in the first inning and just his body language. He doesn't hide it. I think he's mentioned it before. Like Garrett Cole's a great poker player. He not so much. When he gets down, he just gets so down, and that 1-run inning turns into a 5-run inning before you know it. So I mean, we can only. I'm with you. I mean, I'm hoping for that Rodon that can give us 5 innings, 8 Ks, 1 or 2 runs, maybe 6 innings would be nice. But yeah, you just never know, and I'm just he can really get us down early in the game, and it hurts.
Well, and that's just it. Like, yeah, the Yankees got some runs early last night, but will that happen again tonight? I mean, Gleyber will get on, and Soto will walk, and then Judge comes up, and then who ground ball double play? You just don't know, right? And exactly. And you just wonder, like, oh man, if Rodon goes out there and put up a crooked number, you just don't know what could happen. And you hate thinking that way because they're up 3-1. Like, how many teams would like to be up 3-1, and fan base would like to be up 3-1 in a championship series, and we're still finding a way that I don't think they're going to blow it. Okay, but it wouldn't surprise me if this went to a Game 6, 100%. And then then the Yankees have the big dog on the mound in Game 6.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny. After our rough loss in Game 3, I was talking to a buddy of mine that's a Mets fan, and I was saying like, man, I'm devastated. Like I was giving him the whole shenanigans. He's like, hey, you're still up 2-1. You know, like
Yeah.
I'd kill for that spot. And I was like, you're right, but man, like we should have won that game. But it's
Yeah,
just
it's the Mets are it's a tricky one because like they're getting blown out and then they come out and win again. I thought that they were done last night personally. I thought that there was no way they were going to come back in that series and it's going to be done. Now I don't. I still it's going to be tough to win two in LA, but the Mets are the Mets. That's just how they are, right? It's just one of those
100%.
things.
They're throwing heavy punches back and forth. It's 8-0 one game, and then the other way it's 12-6. It's crazy. It's like you can't even. It's nuts.
Let's get to your Yankee fandom. Like you said, you're born in Long Island and you're out there and favorite player, probably I'm gonna probably assume Jeter back in '09. Like I like just to tell me about your Yankee fandom. Tell me about growing up, who your favorite guy was, and then we'll get into some other maybe not so favorite guys over the years with the Yankees. Let's go with who your favorite was, and go from there.
Sounds good to me. I like to say that I can't even say Jeter just because he's like the default, like
Yeah.
everyone loved him. You know what I mean? It's like of course he's my favorite player, so I kind of just put him in a box of like that's Jeter. But two guys that I always love to bring up, Hideki Matsui was such a blast to watch
Oh
back
yeah.
in the day. And then Jorge Posada, just in terms of every aspect of the game, he was my mom's favorite player. I loved Jorge Posada, I loved Hideki. And then Soriano's a name I got to throw out
There's my
too.
Posada
Alfonso,
jersey right there. Here we go.
I love it. I love that setup too, by the way. I wanted to let you know
Thanks.
that is awesome. Um,
Yeah, stupid shit all around here. But
no, it's awesome.
Posada. Like he doesn't get enough credit, and like another guy, just a little before your time. But Bernie was one of those guys that was great too, and it's like just fantastic player. But yeah, Matt Sui. People forget that he was the MVP in
Yep.
that World Series, right? And he just hit everything all over the place, and just the way it all worked out with him. And they had such a great that 09 team. That was destiny, and because like that Philly team was really good but back then. But now you have some teams that are very, very good standing in front of him. Who's a guy that you had to cheer for him because he was wearing pinstripes, but you just I don't much like this character.
Wow, that is a great question. I mean, the first one that comes to mind, and it's tough, was Jacoby Ellsbury. Um,
The thief.
and and I mean, you hate to say it makes it a little bit better, but he wasn't great with us, so it wasn't hard to not like him. Um, Ellsbury, who else? I mean, guys that I didn't really like, even when Verdugo came over this year, it's like I don't keep those
I
grudges against guys.
I can't stand him.
You know, a lot
I
of
just
fans.
he's doing some good things, but if he were to disappear after this season, I'd be okay.
And I totally get it. I respect it. I have a lot of buddies that are exactly like that. I'm just a little different. If you come over here in the pinstripes and you start doing a job, I'm a fan of you. So it's more so guys that either don't do their job and are complaining or doing this and that. The thing with Verdugo is when he wasn't running out those ground balls, that's the thing that
Yeah.
drives me crazy. Oh, but
Verdugo seems to me to be the kind of guy who, like, he hit that little squibber in the ninth last night that scored a run. He's the kind of guy that would go to a bar afterwards and tell everybody he hit a 3-run jack. He would. Like, he's that kind of a guy. Like, oh, I did
100%.
this, and he's too dumb to even realize that there is the internet that would show something. No, that's not what happened, man. Like, he's that kind of a guy, in my opinion. Like, I obviously don't know the guy, but that's just my take on Verdugo and how he would react about I did this and I did that. Like, no, dude, you didn't. I don't know. That's just my take on the guy.
No, I could totally see that. And I could picture Stanton going home, not talking, saying a word, just sitting down on his couch, having a glass of wine and going to bed. And Verdugo, you're right, he's at the bar telling everyone he was the hero of the game. And
Yeah,
so it's funny, those personalities. And even, I mean, someone we haven't mentioned, but Jazz is having a terrible postseason. I mean,
oof.
he can't hit a beach ball right now, I don't think. And I mean, I love the personality. I love the flair. He came over to us and he was incredible. But now's the time to dial in and start doing your thing. But oh,
Yeah, he's got and I was surprised. Well, I looked at the lineup yesterday, and they put him in the 4 hole. I was thinking, okay, maybe they're just saying, okay, if we're going to make sure you get some pitches, we're going to
mhm.
put you after Judge and before Stanton, so now they're going to pitch around. You're going to see some pitches. Let's see what you can do. And well, he bunted a guy over last night. That's about it. Like maybe he's like I thought he was going to be the yeah way to go. He bunted. Woohoo! He probably at the bar with Verdugo talking about how great they both were that last, like, guaranteed. What a couple of nozzles, but whatever. It's just like I'm cheering for him. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm cheering for him through and through. But my lord, word. He just hasn't done it yet, and he was given an opportunity last night to see some pitches, and he's just not built for the big moment as of yet. He was my I picked him as my dark horse for this series to put something together and do something. There's still time. He could hit a big one tonight or on Monday if it gets to that point, but he just hasn't got it done yet.
Not at all. And it seemed like in the regular season he was living up to these big moments within the games that we were playing. But yeah, I mean the big moments come in the postseason, and him and Wells, man. I mean, Wells is the same thing. He was up before Verdugo hit that squibbler, and I'm yelling at my TV. I'm like, Wells, just put the ball in play.
Yeah.
This is the one time I just need you to hit the ball. Basically anything gets in a run, and he swings at two balls, just high fastballs. I get that you have the same approach. You want to stay consistent because he's had a great year, but at some point you got to make an adjustment and just get that bat on the ball. But him and Jazz, I really want to see them start coming through this postseason.
I'm glad you said that because I got a few years on you, to say the least, and double your age, I think. But it's refreshing to hear a younger person say, "Put the bat on the ball, put the ball in play, do something," instead of these analytics and launch angle and win percentage and a lot of and how the exit velocity. I don't care. Put it in play. If you hit it 110 miles an hour and you're out, you're still out. I don't care. And then the approach and I don't care. You will score more runs the more times you get on base. It's that simple. And how the everybody call it, how the nerds have overtaken it. What's your take? You're a younger guy, and it's kind of the analytics thing of everything and how it all works out. But what's your take on the on how the nerds have kind of taken over baseball a little bit?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I got some buddies on Twitter that they are the nerds of baseball. And listen, there's a lot of good stuff that comes from it.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
get me wrong. Yeah, I totally. I mean, they got the science, they got the numbers to back it up. But I'm not fully won over in that regard. Like you were talking about. Man, it's like I love a home run. Everyone loves a home run, but it's like they don't like base hits. They don't like sack bunts. It's like these are things that win games in the end. At the end of the day, Wells. I mean, people were still getting. I know Judge hit a pop up the other day, but guess what? He drops the ball and we scored 2 runs or a run or 2 runs. It's like at some point, just putting the bat in play or putting the ball in play, not striking out, hitting it hard, hitting it where guys aren't. I'm all about that. I get the numbers, and like I said, everyone loves a home run. Everyone loves that launch angle, but you sometimes you just got to do the small things to win a game, and that's where I'm at. I mean, I get the numbers, but I just think that Wells has to put it in play. We were just making fun of him, but Jazz making that sack bunt, that is a great move. Like things like
It
that. Just
worked. It worked.
exactly.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Even the Little League World Series this year was won on a sack bunt that the kid didn't cover first base, but that's another story for another day. But even
Yeah.
they can do it in Little League. Geez, it still works. I mean, I don't know. It's odd to me.
Wins games.
It wins games. Yeah, you talk about guys that I don't know how I got onto this one, but 2013, and you had the A-Rod was suspended, on and on it goes, and I got tricked. I was tricked. The forgive. Bald Vinny selling shirts out front of Billy's there. And did he trick you? Because he had a great PR team that was that kid. Because everybody hated him, and all of a sudden he's got smiles. Now he's on TV and everything else. Did he trick you? Because now I'm back the other way again. I could go without. I love Jeter on TV. I think Jeter does a fantastic job. Doesn't take himself too seriously. Whereas A-Rod, it's all about A-Rod. Did you get tricked back in the day a little bit out? Because he was great in the World Series 2009, obviously. But did he trick you back then like he tricked me?
I would say he did. And yeah, to your point, I'm the same way. Jeter can do no wrong for me, and I do love him on TV. I think he's great. But even on social media, everything about A-Rod is about A-Rod. So I mean, I'm an A-Rod fan. I like him, but I do agree with you. It's like he's just I got tricked.
He's a lot. When you go to a Yankees game, what's your where do you like to sit? Where's your favorite? Where do you what's your actually your game day experience? When you go to a Yankee game, you go into the Bronx. What's your game day experience out there in New York City in the Bronx?
So I usually got about a hour and a half to 2 hour drive. It's usually me and my brother. He'll drive us. It's about $60, but we're parking as close to the stadium as we
Yeah.
can. It hurts the wallet, but that's what we're doing. We usually try to get there about an hour early. We'll walk around the stadium a bit. We'll check out it's the same thing every time, so you're not expecting much change. But we do our walk around. We'll grab a beer, get some food, and then we're sitting down. In terms of seats, I've really been all over the stadium. Um, my brother used to have a home season pass or whatever it is, where you go to a certain number of games,
Yeah, I
and
remember that. Yeah.
we were like right up in left field. It was a nice view. That was awesome. But then recently, I went with a friend of mine, and we were right in front of the judges chambers, and that
Okay.
was an awesome seat. And actually, quick crazy story.
Oh
That
yeah.
game we were at, it was against the Rays, and Yandy Diaz comes up. I've never even been close to a foul ball or a home run in my life, so I'm never expecting it. Yandy Diaz hits a line drive. Doesn't look like it's going out, but it just keeps getting closer and closer. It's like it's not getting higher or lower. It just keeps getting closer. And I remember I had my hat out trying to catch it, but at the last second, I was like, you know what? Let me use my bare hand. I miss it. It hits the man next to me right in the forehead.
No.
Bounces about 3 sections over. Like it hit him straight in the face. He turns to me and I look at him and he's just got blood pouring down his face. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's saying, yeah. And then he turns around and he says, am I bleeding, to the guy behind him, as he's like literally. And I'm like, oh my God, security came in and took him out. But I hope the Yankees hooked him up with something, because taking a Yandy Diaz line drive home run to the forehead was something I'll never
Oh,
forget. That was insane.
you got to make a play on that, Ryan. Man, oh man.
I
I
think
got
I
one. I got one. It was 2014, I think it was, and it wasn't a game ball. It was just the Carlos Beltran was playing right field, and
Mhm.
in between innings he threw one up into the crowd, and I reached in front of a 8-year-old kid, I think, and I caught it, and then I was like, yeah, I got a ball right on, and then everybody give it to the kid, give it to the kid, like son of a bitch, and here, and then so I gave it to the kid. And then later on, when the game was over, the mom goes, here's your ball back. It means a lot more to you than it does to the kid. I was like, oh, because that kid probably has 35 of them, because they were season ticket holders. So I was like, oh, thanks.
There you
So I got
go.
it. It's just over here somewhere. But yeah, so at least I got to keep it. Yeah. If you get one and there's a kid next to you, keeping it, or are you giving it to the kid?
I mean, it's tough. I think it depends on who's it coming from, whose bat it's coming off of.
The moment,
I
yeah.
Yeah, for PR purposes, you got to give it to the kid, like you did. Like in your mind, you're probably thinking, "Oh my God, this kid really has to get this ball." But yeah, I don't know I think I'm doing anything I can to get like a Judge home run or a Judge ball from him, something like that. I don't know. I mean, listen, I get the kids are there, they're trying to have fun, but we're kids at heart too. This is still our game.
Yeah, I probably paid for my ticket. That
Yeah,
kid
and
didn't.
yeah,
That's my
exactly.
baseball. Yeah, no, it's and just like, the entitlement of it all. Well, why don't I get it? Well, you didn't catch it.
Yeah,
Life's tough, kid. Wear a helmet. It's one of those things. Yeah.
exactly. Figure it out. You get the next one.
No, it's crazy. No, yeah. Let's get into predictions. How you think it's all going to go? Rodon's going tonight. Game 5. They wrap it up tonight, or is it a tricky one? Because I think they're kind of playing with a little bit of house money with the way that they've handled this Cleveland Guardians bullpen, which is supposed to be vaunted. But now that Class A is probably not, well, actually, the Yankees probably want Class A to go tonight the way
Yeah.
they've been hitting them, but which is unbelievable to me. And for anybody to say that, yeah, his stuff is obviously better than Mariano's because he throws harder, and that's just how athletics works, and that's how evolution of man works. It's just how it is.
Mhm.
But for anybody to even mention Class A in the same breath as Mariano needs to have their head examined. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because I can't remember which broadcaster said it, but I thought that's almost sacrilegious. I thought.
I agree 100%. I was seeing the quotes on Twitter after the game, and I was just like, I mean, that there's your example. I mean, you compare him to Mariano Rivera, and look what we just did against him. I agree. Mo is the goat. Don't. It's like you're setting him up. You're setting any pitcher up for failure if you compare him to Mariano Rivera. Like you said, I don't care what their stuff is, the success that he had, and just his clutch gene. I mean, just keep his name out of your mouth when you're talking about comparisons. It's just not. Um, but in terms of predictions, it's tough. Whenever I do this, it's like I'm a diehard Yankee fan, so it's hard to predict anything other than a win, whether I truly believe it or not. Um, but I think Rodon. I mean I hope Rodon teeters the way of he's got his stuff, he's dealing. I think he gets us through 5, maybe maybe gives up 2 to 3 runs. And then, I mean, it's just been such a battle back and forth. The Guardians, they're capable of winning a game on any given day. But I just have a feeling I do think we win it tonight. We've been incredible on the road this season. Would it be awesome to win in the Bronx? Of course, but that means that we lose today. But I do think we take care of business today. I think the bats keep going. Yeah.
So, Captain to Corner, your Twitter account's very active, over 5,000 just followers. It's just being a guy. It's not you're just a guy, but you know what I mean. It's
100%.
Nick Swisher and Cameron Maven both follow you. How when you like every once in a while you get someone who's famous follow you, like, hey, that's kind of neat. What was your thoughts when those two? Because Swisher is a character. I love Swisher. Sometimes like I love Swisher, but he's one of those guys I don't know because I'm 50. I don't know how long I could sit with Swisher because he's just too much rainbows and unicorns blowing out of his ass all the time. If that makes any sense. Like I love him, but like eventually you just gotta like, dude, like you said with Stanton, just have a glass of wine and just relax, man.
Yeah.
Like what was your thoughts when Swisher started following you on Twitter or X?
Yeah, so I agree with you 1,000%. He is always just high energy. Like I feel like you can't. He's always just go go go. He's always so happy.
Yeah.
I was at work. It was shortly after I started my account. So I don't know if he like slipped and accidentally followed me or what happened. But I did not. I was maybe a month or two into my account, and I see maybe a little bit longer than that. But I see that Nick Swisher follow, and I didn't work the rest of the day. I couldn't do anything. I was that happy. Um, in that 2009 World Series year, he was like my guy. My sister played soccer. She wore number 33, so I loved calling her Swish.
Yeah.
And no, that was awesome. And then Cameron Maben, shout out to him. I mean, he is not only is he like, of course, he's active on Twitter, but his engagement with the fans and giving like a player's perspective, but in not like I'm better than you because I played kind of way. He has the knowledge, he has the experience, and I just love seeing him share it. He'll reply to some of my stuff, and I'm always happy to see him because it's just like, man, I was watching you play, and now we're talking ball, so it is really cool.
No, that is really neat. No, it's a lot of fun to talk with Yankee fans. Yeah, like I'm out here in Western Canada, so it's there's you don't get the Yankees don't get a lot of love, but everybody starts bringing their hat out this time of year and everything else. Because and the thing about the Yankees, and I've said this before, and the Yankees are relevant. The Yankees are doing well. More people watch baseball. Like it's football season. Screw football season. It's a World Series, and when the Yankees are relevant, more people are watching, even if they don't like the Yankees, because nothing brings two people together like dislike of a third, and that's kind of how it is with the Yankees. Let's do something nice and easy here to wrap things up. Something we have. It's called 3 easy questions. You can't get them wrong. Really quite easy. Well, you can get them wrong, but you know what I mean. 3 easy questions, then we'll wrap this thing up and get you out of here. Ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
That's not the right answer. When you button your shirt, do you go top down or bottom up?
I go top down.
That's actually the right answer. You start at the bottom, it gets all crossed up. So that's actually the right answer. So you're 1 for 2. And finally, what Major League Baseball player do you hate the most and why? Past or present?
I was gonna say that's key. I'll give you both. I'll give you present. It's Josh Naylor. It's not even a question. Every time if he gets a hit, I'm angry. If he gets out, I'm excited. The Rock the Baby to go down a run in the 4th inning against us was the most insane reaction. Yeah, I can't stand him. And then of all time, Manny Ramirez. When I was a kid, I couldn't stand Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, he had that air about him too. Hey, like really good player, and then he like Manny being Manny when he ended up in L.A. and just an absolute idiot, and just the whole way the PEDs. I mean, that's a whole other on the podcast every day with that. But no, yeah, Ramirez is a complete idiot. Tell everybody about your Twitter account and where they can find you and what you got going on.
Yep. So it's Captain's Corner. The ad is Captain2Corner. I live tweet all the games. I like to put out questions, graphics, all sorts of fun stuff, and just everything Yankees. That's all I'm about on Twitter. And yeah, give me a follow and check it out if you like it. Hang around.
Right on. Ryan, thanks for doing this. If and when the Yankees get the World Series, we'll have to get together again after game 1 or 2, and we'll have a little BS session. Hopefully, we're smiling and not complaining, because that's what Yankee fans do the best, is complain even when things are going well.
Big time, and yeah, I'm so down for that. That sounds awesome. This was a lot of fun.
All right, Ryan. Thanks very much once again. It'll be up later on today, and we'll follow you live tweeting tonight's game, and go Yankees.
Go Yankees. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Cheers, man.